Hi guys, I'm back. It's Paddy Lillis here. I am really honoured today because I've got the General Secretary of USDAW, Paddy Lillis, and we're here again in Parliament in London, Central London. We're here about the cost of living crisis. I'm going to be talking to my local MP, Steve Reed, a little bit later on today. But Paddy, let us know what you're actually here doing.
Well, it's really important for all trade unions across the UK to be at this lobby of Parliament today. This is to get a message across loud and clear to the government that we've got a cost of living crisis which our members, the general public, those on lowest incomes aren't the scapegoats for all the mistakes of this Tory government. We've got people now who are not even on the breadline. We're sending children to bed at night hungry. Our elderly can't heat their homes. Our utility bills are going up. Our food bills are going up. With food banks running out of food. This is the 5th richest country in the world, and disgraceful doesn't even go close to where we are. So this lobby's about actually getting the message across to this government and all politicians. Enough's enough. We need urgent action, urgent intervention to make sure our citizens, our members, our communities don't suffer during this winter. We've seen the furlough scheme. It kept many thousands, if not millions, in work. We need that sort of intervention to help. And I'm really worried about our elderly over this winter, and of course our children going to school without adequate clothing, hungry. It's disgraceful. So yeah, we'll be doing all we can as a trade union movement to highlight that, and also talking about what we need for workers. We need decent pay rates. We need health and safety. We need sick pay from day one. We need 0 hours contracts taken away. And the only way we're going to do this is a return of a Labour government who will ensure within the first 100 days to repeal the Tory legislation in employment law and restore the right for trade unions to be able to collectively bargain and organise workers across the UK. So please, whatever you can do, help. That's what we'll be doing today in this lobby of Parliament.
I want to actually address what you said there about the Labour government being back in power and doing the sort of New Deal there. One of the biggest things that took place a couple of years ago was Brexit and the UK coming out of the European Union. So not having the workers' rights and all the rest of that sort of thing being at jeopardy. Jeremy Corbyn talked about it, Keir Starmer has talked about it. In terms of where we stand now, especially as USDAW as a trade union, do you feel that, because Brexit just went right across. It didn't matter if you were Tory, if you was Labour. We saw a great deal of the supporters of Brexit coming from the north, so from the Red Wall. How do you feel with, if Labour did come back into the government, that with Brexit, that workers' rights are still going to be protected, or do you think there's going to be more protections being able to be given because of the sort of trade union support for Labour?
Well, there's a number of things you raise there. I mean, Brexit, we had the referendum in 2016. As you know, USDAW, along with the vast majority of trade unions, opposed Brexit. Yeah. We wanted to remain within, for all the obvious reasons you just stated. Most employment rights derives from European legislation, from working time directives, health and safety. All of that derives from it. This government continually talks about getting rid of red tape for employers. Well, red tape means a race to the bottom and being able to fire and rehire workers and have a cheap labour type economy. So that's why we oppose it. Of course, the main question you're asking, what will Labour do coming into power? Well, a decision was taken by the people of Britain. And whether we like it or not, we're a democratic country, and that decision was to come out of Brexit. The only thing will be different between the Tories and Labour. Labour under Keir Starmer will continue to work with our European allies to get the best out of Europe and to ensure that our laws in terms of employment rights in particular is matched, if not exceeds, that of Europe. And I've been fortunate over the last 18 months to be involved in a task group with 13 General Secretaries affiliated to the Labour Party to work on an employment rights green paper. That was concluded after about 18 months. I have since put it out to all the reps in terms of where we are, and that gives day one rights, a repeal of Tory legislation, sick pay, all the stuff you'd expect from a trade union. And Keir Starmer has made it clear publicly to us as trade union leaders, within 100 days of being elected in the Labour government, that will be enacted in law. So I think as trade unionists, we need to do everything we can to get a Labour government returned to ensure within 100 days we have got the right the right conditions for us to be able to thrive in. I mean, we're the largest voluntary organisation in Britain, and we're excluded from decision making by this government, and I don't understand it. The trade union movement has always been a movement of solutions.
Yeah.
We know what the problems are, but we've got lots of solutions that people want to talk to us. So yeah, the sooner we get a Labour government, the sooner we get this green paper and employment rights enacted, the sooner we can start building the movement back up to where it should be, and not have to worry about the attacks that continually on us. You're only looking at this cost of living crisis. I mean, we've got the country collapsed with Liz Truss. The pound dropped. We have the world economy looking at us as if we're amateurs. And what does the Tories come up with? They come up with another attack on the trade union movement to restrict strikes, to bring in further legislation. We are the most regulated in employment rights in the whole of Western Europe. And of course, it's unfair. It takes away democracy because it becomes more a sort of a dictatorship from the Tories, because they don't like what we have to say. So yeah, the sooner we get a Labour government, the better.
Well, the funny thing is, you talked that we were the fifth. We've actually dropped down to the sixth. India took us over, and that was only declared, I think, last month.
That's right.
So there is a massive impact that's happening to us. The TUC, USDAW, at the last ADM, the annual delegates meeting in Blackpool, we passed a motion for £15 per hour. Socialist workers are all working on it. Mainly the trade unions are out there working on it. How, in terms of what reps can do on the ground to promote, what would you advise to reps? Because there's a lot of reps that don't know what to do.
Well, we'll try to, and I think we're quite good at getting the message out there, reps, in terms of communications through Network, our Reps magazine, through Arena, to all our members. We've got, I think, a great team of officials on the ground, but more importantly, a great team of reps on the ground. We have about 7,500 reps across the country. We rely on them. They're the key sort of key workers for us. They're in there every day talking to members and recruiting. The pandemic's taken its toll on us as an organisation. We've lost around 70,000 members during the last 2.5 years. We're starting to build back now. That's going to take time. But of course, when you lose that sort of members, you lose a certain amount of finance. Certain amount of finance means you have to sort of cut your cloth accordingly. And I'm clear, my first priority is to ensure this union it gives the support it needs to reps. That frontline services is absolutely key to me, and we'll continue to do that. I want to grow our reps, I want to grow our training, I want to do lots of stuff like our stand down programme, our academy programme, our black activist programme, our light shooter programme, and our now political activist programme. All life changing opportunities for our reps. We'll be doing more of that there. In terms of our reps, what they can do for us is help us build back, ask people to join the union. The TUC will tell you in every survey they do, the reason people don't join a trade union, nobody asks them. And we need to do more of that, but we need to be able to explain who we are, what our values are, what our morals are. And I think when you talk to people about who the trade union movement is, people get it. They get it.
Yeah, because right now, and before I finish off, I mean, right now we've seen, having talked to ASF and some of the other trade unions out there, we've seen a lot of strike actions which have taken place. Traditionally, we've had a lot of resistance to strike action, but recently, the general public supports it. They support strike action, they support workers fighting for their rights. Why do you think there's been such a mindset change?
I think over the last 12 years of this Tory government, we've seen year after year after year, employers sort of not giving a decent pay raises, keeping them below inflation, using the financial tsunami that took place in 2008, 2009 as an excuse. They're now running out of excuses. What we have over that 10, 12 years is wage stagnation. And if you look at the cost of living crisis we have at the minute, utility bills at the beginning of the year were £1,200 on average. They went up to, they doubled to 2,500.
Yeah.
They've intervened to give a £400 minimum every family. It was going to go to 4,000, so they've done us a favour, i.e. they think they've done us a favour by keeping
no favour at all.
People in low incomes have still got to meet a doubling of their utility bills, 15 to 18% rise in food bills. You know, everything has gone up, but wages haven't gone up. So that's why you have now, so many strikes around. People now recognise that they can't live, they can't pay their bills. We're running people into debt. They're taking unsecured loans and try and pay for tomorrow, which is going to be a millstone around everybody's neck later on, including the country. So, For all of them reasons, and I think the public in general, the public is our members, remember, they now get it. So, yeah, and from our own perspective, I mean, the retail sector doesn't tend to go on strike, but of course the distribution, food manufacturing, all the other areas we're doing. We have had a number of strikes this year, in the Midlands in particular, in the Midlands. We support the current round of strikes, and RMT, Unison, GMB, Unite, we fully support them, and we'll continue to do that. We need a government that listens to the trade union movement. We need employers to be able to pay what they can afford, and that's what hasn't been happening lately.
Well, again, Paddy, I know you're going to be very busy to get back to every one of our members as well. You know, I'll be talking to my MP a little bit later on today. I was lucky; I was one of the lucky ones. So, thank you. It's been a great honor to speak to you about this,
Pleasure.
guys. If you are not a member of a trade union, go to your TUC website. If you're within retail, shop workers, distribution element, join with USDAW. It is really important because they are doing a fantastic job. You know, and that's usdaw.co.uk, I think.
Cool. .org.uk.
.org.uk. Sorry, I should know that. And guys, if you don't know how to do that, you will need to go back to school. So it's Paddy Knackery. And Paddy.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Good one.